ideology is both a wolf in sheep's clothing, and it's perhaps also a sheep in wolf's clothing. And what I mean by that is that ideology is a poor substitute for traditional classical mechanisms of meaning making, you might say. And ideology is, lots of debate as to quite how one defines it, but loosely speaking, its pedigree is a Marxist one. And the idea is that there is a sort of superstructure of ideas within a society that have a certain instrumental function, where the Marxist suspicion is, and this is inherited by Freud and by Nietzsche and others in different ways, the point is that not whether the ideas are true, but what function do they play within society. And so the ideology is a means of shaping society, and certainly the Marxist critiques are, or Foucault's critiques are, that ideology is indeed a kind of mask. It is it's a way for particularly the oppressing classes to control the proletariat, to control the working classes, and you see various sort of iterations of that basic Marxist idea in contemporary progressivism all over the place. You simply switch out the working class and put in the marginalized community of the weak in its place, and then the logic unfolds. But as I said, I think it's also a sheep in wolf's clothing in the sense that it doesn't, no ideology, because the ideologies are primarily sociological, political in their origination and in their spirit, they are almost always defective and inadequate when it comes to touching on what the theologian Paul Tillich talks about as the ultimate questions of ultimate concern. Questions of ultimate concern. Not necessarily theological questions, but questions that every human being at some point will ask himself or herself. Who am I? What is it to be me? Why do I want what I want? Why do I want what I know that I shouldn't want? What's going to happen to me when I die? What's the meaning of life? Why do I have the feelings that I do? And so on. These are questions that ideology just can't touch, that ideology is basically cynical about, or offers a basically reductive analysis of. And so it's a sheep. So it's a sheep in wolf's clothing in the sense that, you know, it's got this. Ideology can fill particularly young people with a kind of awe and a sense of great control and power and a sense that they're the wolf. But it masks the poverty of ideology as a source of meaning. And I think a lot of the meaning crisis that is talked about today does come from the failure to recognize that ideology is a very poor substitute for religion, or even for more classical secular ways of understanding how to pursue the most meaningful questions that ideology itself can't really touch on.